So it is Sunday, the 10th of September, 2017. Reverend Diane Rollard of the Unitarian Church of Montreal just went back into the Unitarian Church of Montreal. She had been standing outside it, greeting a few people. Her husband, David Rollard, still standing there talking to someone. And we're protesting against Unitarian Universalist clergy abuse of all kinds. But Unitarian clergy sexual abuse of children in particular, and also Unitarian Universalist cover-up and denial of clergy abuse of all kinds, but cover-up and denial of sexual abuse of children in particular, which includes misusing Canada's blasphemy law and legal bullying intended to conceal such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape committed by certain Unitarian Universalist ministers. Anyhow, it looks like Reverend Diane Rollard went in, so it doesn't look like there's going to be a procession into the church prior to the service, as there has been in the past. Got some cyclists going by here. I'm getting a little nod from a couple of them. What have we here? A couple of people showing up. Just let the cars see the picket signs. And some more people coming this way. So I just saw Reverend Diane Rollard poke her head out the door, calling her husband in, I think. And got some, oh, there they are. They're looking at the chalk slogan. Oh, that's good. Got a good look at the chalk slogan. Got somebody filming or taking a photo. Doesn't seem to be pointing in my direction. But he's most welcome to do so.
Tu penses que c'est pas bon?
Pardon?
Tu penses que c'est pas bon?
Je pense qu'il y a des problèmes assez graves avec l'Église ici à Montréal, mais aussi en général.
En général.
Non,
On cherche l'argent.
ouais, plus que ça, mais oui, ça c'est une grande partie, je pense, juste pour leur salaire, etc. Mais non, comme toutes les églises, ils ont leurs problèmes avec l'abus du clergé, etc.
Okay.
Puis, ils m'ont accusé de crime de libelle blasphématoire.
Ah, OK.
Parce que j'ai fait des blog posts concernant quelques pédophiles et violeurs dans le... Pas ici localement, mais aux États-Unis. Mais c'est le grand bureau-chef à Boston qui m'a accusé de libelle blasphématoire.
Es-tu tout seul à te défendre?
Oui.
Oui, 15 ans.
Peut-être quelques-uns?
15 ans.
20 actually, 20.
20 ans,
Ah,
il fait ça.
Vous êtes plusieurs.
Ouais.
T'es pas tout
Il n'y a
seul.
personne qui se rejoint.
OK.
Si vous avez...
Ben moi, je me
envie
pose
de
la question,
poser des
comme là, mon
questions,
voisin,
vous
il va
pouvez,
mourir, il va-tu aller au ciel ou en enfer?
selon nous,
Quand,
on ne sait
d'après
pas.
toi, on ne sait pas, hein?
On sait pas. Mais
Il y a eu des gens, il y a des gens qui ont mis beaucoup d'argent pour être sûrs d'avoir une place au ciel,
Non,
mais
non. C'est
pas
du tout
garanti.
ça. Non, c'est même pas.
Ah, le pasteur est un athée. Je pense que lui est un athée aussi.
Ah ouais?
Oui.
L'important, c'est de vivre la vie sur Terre le mieux qu'on peut.
Ouais, mais évidemment, ils font pas ça. Évidemment, ils font pas ça. Hey, David, are you living your life on earth as best as you possibly can? I don't think so. Merci, bonne journée, monsieur. So that's it, David Rollard saying, that our philosophy is to live our life on earth as best as we possibly can. Well, I guess in David's idea of the best life he can possibly live. That includes totally ignoring a protest against Unitarian Universalist clergy abuse and cover-up and denial of clergy abuse and various other injustices and abuses and hypocrisy on the part of not just the Unitarian Church of Montreal, but also the larger Unitarian Universalist religious community. So, yeah, well done, David. So anyhow, Church of the Image Tarnishing Ministers. It used to be singular. It used to reply specifically to Reverend Ray Drennan, who tarnished the image of the Unitarian Church of Montreal with his anti-religious intolerance and bigotry. But I broadened it out to include other ministers, including Reverend Diane Rollert, but also ministers who engage in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape, such as Reverend Mac Wallace Mitchell and various others. And then, of course, there's the Sunday school teachers and so on. But yeah, that sign refers specifically to ministers. But we could even say that the ministers who are responsible for falsely accusing me of blasphemous libel in an effort to conceal such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape have certainly tarnished the image of the Unitarian Universalist religious community by misusing Canada's blasphemy law in clergy, sex abuse, cover-up and denial, legal bullying. So yes, a lot of image tarnishing going on in terms of Unitarian Universalist ministers. Perhaps the most recent, quite serious image tarnishing in terms of sexual misconduct is the fact that Reverend Ronald Eugene Robinson, also known as Reverend Ron Robinson, was recently convicted of basically accessing child pornography on the internet and engaging in chat rooms where he fantasized about raping young children and even killing them after. So that's Reverend Ronald Eugene Robinson's contribution to imaging or image tarnishing of the tiny declining fringe religion known as Unitarian Universalism. But yes, I think we can accuse Reverend Dr. Peter Morales and Reverend Dr. Victoria Weinstein of tarnishing the image of Unitarian Universalism by hiring Stikeman Elliott barristers and solicitors litigation lawyer Maitre Marc-Andre Coulombe to falsely accuse me of the criminal act of blasphemous libel in an effort to intimidate me into removing blog posts that tell the readily verifiable truth about such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape committed by certain Unitarian Universalist ministers. And Reverend Dr. Victoria Weinstein added to that by accusing me of sexual harassment, indeed threatening and defamatory conduct amounting to sexual harassment against her because I criticized her sodomy fantasy in which she imagined South Dakota State Senator Bill Napoli anally impaled on the Statue of Liberty's torch. That's pretty much an exact quote of Reverend Dr. Victoria Weinstein's sodomy fantasy, which could be reasonably described as threatening and defamatory conduct amounting to sexual harassment against Senator Bill Napoli. So remarkably hypocritical of Reverend Dr. Victoria Weinstein, also known as Peace Bang, to accuse me of threatening and defamatory conduct amounting to sexual harassment of her for criticizing her own threatening and defamatory conduct amounting to sexual harassment, to say nothing of death threats against U.S. State Senator Bill Napoli. Extreme two-faced hypocrisy on the part of Peace Bang that tarnishes the image of Unitarian Universalism. Not that the sodomy fantasy itself didn't tarnish the image of the Unitarian Universalist religious community when she first posted it to the internet some years ago. Anyhow, off to a pretty good start with our protest today, and got quite a little bit of, okay, we got a McGill student coming here. So we'll keep an eye on that. So yeah, we got some younger people showing up today. It's the first service at the beginning of the new church year. Unitarian Universalists tend to, have lay-led services in the summer, and then they start up with the clergy-led services in the fall, usually the first Sunday after Labor Day weekend, which is where we are today. It's the 10th of September, and it is indeed the first weekend after the Labor Day weekend, and it's the first weekend where Reverend Diane Rollert is leading a sermon. So that's pretty much par for the course for Unitarian Universalism. So let's see how we're doing here. I just want to make sure this is still running. Oh, yes, it is. So I've had some difficulty with the camera shutting off unexpectedly, but it's doing quite well this morning. Hasn't let me down yet. So Unitarian clergy abuse sucks. Pretty straightforward statement there. And referencing a certain attack blog by Unitarian Universalists who insist that I suck. Speak out against UU child abuse on Purple Friday. Well, actually, Purple Friday is about speaking out against child abuse, and more specifically child sex abuse, by pretty much anyone. It was actually started by a British fellow, and so he's promoting this idea of Purple Friday, which is coming up this week, at the end of the week. Friday the 15th of September will be Purple Friday, and he's asking people to use the Purple Friday hashtag and to speak out against child sex abuse. So I thought I would contribute to his campaign by publicizing it a little bit here at the Unitarian Church of Montreal. So anyhow, yeah, David Lean is his name, if I remember correctly, and he's a victim of sexual abuse, I think within the context of sports. Basically, he was a British, football, i.e. soccer player as a child who was, sexually abused as a child, presumably by a coach or something. And he is, one of these activists against sexual abuse of children. And also, not just the sexual abuse itself, but against the cover-up and the denial and the failure of the criminal justice system to hold people accountable for their sexual abuse of children and so on. So it's not just the act of child sex abuse itself, but the aftermath of inability to get any justice, when you actually complain about it, and the ongoing cover-up and denial by institutions to keep it hidden as much as possible. So he's trying to bring it out in the open. I've been bringing it out in the open for quite some time now, even before his Purple Friday campaign, even before I became aware of him on Twitter. But I've been collaborating with David Lean in terms of activities against child sex abuse on Twitter, and I will certainly be participating in Purple Friday in my own way. He actually is asking people to wear purple on Purple Friday, so I do have some purple in my wardrobe, but I'm probably going to have to buy a little bit more to properly observe Purple Friday. But you're basically leading up to Purple Friday by writing this slogan here in pink and basically purple. It's not the best purple in the world, but that's what my sidewalk chalk gives me. So anyhow, having a nice little first protest of the official church year at the Unitarian Church of Montreal in 2017. September 2017, beginning of the 2017 to 2018 church year. Got some people looking back at the picket signs and the chalk slogans. So that's the other thing is, when I'm protesting against Unitarian Universalist clergy abuse and sexual abuse of children and so on and so forth, cover up and denial thereof. You know, it raises the issue in general. You know, I may be specifically protesting against what's happening within the Unitarian Universalist Church, but everybody knows that other churches have very similar problems, and it's not just limited to churches. You know, schools and sports teams and so on have you know, cases of child sex abuse, and also cover up and denial thereof, and failing to hold people accountable and so on. So it's, you know, it's not just the Unitarians by any means. Anywho, having a very nice little protest here. It's sun's poking out from behind the clouds, and feeling the warmth and light and so on. So I quite enjoy my Sunday constitutional, as I call it. This is interesting. This is interesting. Okay, so the guy's watering the plants. Oh, he's cleaning out the garbage. Okay. So, I didn't think he was here to wipe away my chalk slogans, but I was beginning to wonder if the Unitarian Church of Montreal had somehow persuaded the city of Montreal to wash away my chalk slogans. Apparently not. But we'll keep an eye on the situation. It looks like he's just cleaning the area around the garbage container. That's his